Today we're talking about solving quadratic equations. There are four main ways of solving quadratic equations: factoring, taking the square root, completing the square, and using the quadratic formula. Anytime you see an equation with x squared, you'll probably want to use one of these four methods. Before we get started, be sure to like and subscribe for more math tutorials like this. Let's go. If you're cramming for a test that's tomorrow morning, factoring and using the quadratic formula will probably be the most useful, so definitely be sure to get this concept down. The first step is to rewrite the equation in standard form, where you have everything on the left and 0 on the right. In our example, we're mostly there but still have that 6 on the right, so we'll subtract 6 from both sides of the equation to put it in standard form. For step 2, we need to find the factors of our constant c that add up to b. Let's break that down. Our constant c is negative 18, definitely don't forget that negative. And it has a whole bunch of factors, which are numbers that when multiplied are equal to negative 18. For example, when we multiply negative 1 and 18, we get 18, so these numbers are factors. Same with positive 1 and negative 18, negative 9 and 2, positive 9 and negative 2, etc. And I'll keep going until I find the right two numbers that when you add them, they add up to this middle value, 3. You'll notice that positive 6 and negative 3 are factors because they do multiply to negative 18, and they also add up to positive 3, which is our b value. So we know we found our right pair of factors. When you do more of these problems, this part will be more intuitive and come more easily. For our final step, we can write our factored equation, which is x plus 6 times x minus 3 equals 0. This is the same as our original equation, but now just in factored form. You can actually look at this as just two values being multiplied together. And remember how anything times 0 equals 0? So we have two scenarios. If x plus 6 equals 0, then the whole thing equals 0. And in our second scenario, if x minus 3 equals 0, then the whole thing also again equals 0. So we'll just have to solve for these two scenarios. When we solve, we'll get x equals negative 6 and x equals 3, which are our two final answers. You can also double check this by plugging it back into the original equation. Our second method is taking the square root. Let's rewrite it in this format. Don't bother memorizing if it confuses you even more. Just remember that you have to have the x squared on one side and your numbers on the other. Sometimes the simple ones just look like x squared equals some number if b equals 0. Anyways, for example, I'm going to get rid of this 3 on the left side by dividing both sides by 3. Now it's in the correct format. For step number 2, let's take the square root of both sides. On the left, taking the square root of a square cancels it out, so we're just left with the stuff on the inside, which is x plus 1. On the right side, it's plus or minus 3. We need to have that plus or minus because, yes, 3 squared equals 9, but also remember that negative 3 squared is also equal to 9. So we don't want to forget that second scenario. Our final step is to solve both of these scenarios, where x plus 1 equals positive 3, and also x plus 1 equals negative 3. If we solve both equations, we'll get two answers where x equals 2 and x equals negative 4. These are both of our answers. This is the method I hate the most, just because I don't get why it's necessary when you have factoring and the quadratic formula, but anyways. The first step is to rewrite the equation in this format, where you put everything that has an x on the left side and all of the numbers without an x on the right side. And also you have to make sure that the coefficient in front of the x squared is 1. For our example, our leading coefficient is not 1, it's 2, so we can fix that by dividing both sides by 2. I'm always tempted to factor out x at this point, but don't do it. It's not going to get you anywhere when you're completing the square. Let's go to step number 2. This step is not going to make any sense, but just trust me on this one. In order to complete the square, take the b coefficient in front of the x value and divide that number by 2. Then square the same value, and you'll get a number. In this case, it's 25. This is the number that's going to make our equation a perfect square. So take this number and add it to both sides. It's all going to make sense in step number 3. We've basically now artifactually manufactured a perfect square. And when you factor this, you'll notice that the left side is, surprise, a perfect square. In this case, x minus 5 squared. Now you can take the square root of both sides and solve. Again, don't forget the plus or minus like we talked about in our last couple methods. When you take the square root of 64, remember that 8 squared equals 64, but in our other scenario, negative 8 squared also equals 64. Let's solve for both scenarios, and we'll get x equals 13 and x equals negative 3 as our final answers. Finally, we have the quadratic equation. I remember being tested on this one a lot, and I definitely have a lot of battle scars from having to memorize this formula, but this one's a good one. Basically, anytime you're having a hard time factoring, you can use this quadratic formula. The first step is to write the equation in standard form, where everything is simplified and on the left. In our example, we're almost there except for this 2 on the right side, so I'll just subtract both sides by 2 and we'll end up with 0. Now our equation is in standard form. For step 2, let's take note of which numbers are a, b, and c. In our case, a equals 3, b equals 5, and c equals 2. Let's plug these values into the quadratic formula. Just be careful about this plus or minus because, again, it'll give you 2 answers. In one scenario, we'll use the plus sign, and in the other scenario, we'll use the minus sign. When we simplify, we'll get these 2 numbers as our final answer. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching this video on solving quadratic equations in Algebra 1 and Algebra 2. If this was helpful, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more math videos. See you in the next one.